I flew all the way to the Himalayas to make a grilled cheese sandwich just so I could prove Gordon Ramsay wrong. Gordon recently responded to one of my videos and said that the reason his grilled cheese sandwich didn't turn out well was because...
Secondly, I was up a bloody mountain, so how do I grill cheese on a mountaintop?
Well, I took that as a challenge, and since it's not every day you get a chance to prove Gordon Ramsay wrong, I knew I had to go big with this one. What if instead of using just any mountain, I flew to the Himalayas? And what if instead of driving to a mountain town, I trekked for 4 days deep into the mountains, learned about local customs and ingredients, and made a grilled cheese sandwich that not only proved Gordon wrong, but also represented the local flavors? Yeah, now that sounds like a good time. And that's exactly what we're doing today. This adventure ended up being so much more exciting than I ever imagined, so grab a snack and let's go. Our adventure begins in the town of Ulleri, where we were introduced to Gundruk. I'm a curious person, so when I saw a bunch of guys hammering all these leaves, I knew I had to check it out. It turns out that this was wild spinach that they had just harvested that day. They're beating it with these hammers to remove as much moisture as possible before stuffing it into bags for a few weeks to ferment. Then once it's done fermenting, they'll leave it out in the sun to dry for a few days, and this process preserves this spinach for over a year. And lucky for us, not only were these guys happy to let us try last year's spinach, they also gave us a little bag to take with us so that I could put some in my grilled cheese sandwich. Tastes like dried cherries. Raisins?
Raisins. That's what it is. Yeah.
Tastes like raisins.
Yeah.
Oh, and remember this guy because he's going to be relevant again in a minute. But that wasn't the end of this little side quest because I had to try making gundruk myself. Of course, nobody told me until after I started doing it that if you touch these things with your bare hands, you will get very itchy. That's why the guys earlier were wearing gloves. But don't worry, I did a good job washing my hands and I only got a little tingly. And speaking of tingly, while all this was happening, another local man came up to us and started telling us about the mad honey he had just collected. In case you're not familiar with mad honey, it's honey that's made during the rhododendron bloom. These rhododendron flowers actually contain a neurotoxin that can cause hallucinations if consumed in large quantities. And when the bees end up using these flowers to pollinate, the honey itself contains the neurotoxin too. To harvest this honey, you have to take a dangerous hike deep into the forest of Nepal. So yeah, that's mad honey. And I couldn't resist buying some. We've got to focus on the main mission here, which is the grilled cheese sandwich, but once I make the grilled cheese, at the end of this video, I will be trying the mad honey myself. But that's enough of this side quest because it's time for us to get hiking up the mountain so we can get one step closer to making grilled cheese sandwiches. As we hiked, it became very clear to me that gundruk was incredibly important to this region. Just about every house we passed was at a different point in the process of making gundruk. And I was having a lot of fun impressing the locals with my newfound knowledge about gundruk. All I had to do was point at the spinach and say, Gundruk, and we instantly had a new friend. We met people who gave us wild golden berries, which were super delicious. We met another woman who was making what she called pickled tofu curds, and she even let us try some of the old batch. To me, they tasted like spicy fried tofu croutons, which were delicious. The same lady then invited us into her house to show us her dried frog collection. Apparently these frogs are used to season broths, so throw out your bouillon cubes. Start using dried frogs. Despite encountering so many snacks on our walk up, it was time for lunch and I was super hungry. We had already had a few meals off camera and we were really enjoying the local fried cornbread. When I started to ask how it was made, of course, we were invited into the kitchen and given a full tutorial. Start with some salt, sugar, and 2 eggs. Whisk that all together and then add some corn flour and wheat flour in a 2-to-1 ratio. I wish I could give you exact measurements, but when you're watching a master like this at work, there are no exact measurements. He added a little bit of water to the dough and it was ready. Well, not completely ready because he did knead it for about 5 minutes. Then he rolled them out into what I think are some of the most perfect circles I've ever seen somebody roll dough into. I can't even imagine how many times this guy's done this. Then he dropped them one at a time into hot oil and fried them each for about 2 minutes on each side. They puffed up and turned a beautiful golden brown before they were done. If you make these at home, eat them with some honey and butter, and trust me, you will love it. But I hope you haven't forgotten we're here for lunch, and this isn't going to be enough. Remember that guy I pointed out a couple minutes ago? Well, it turns out his sister is the chef at this restaurant, and she knows how to make a mean fried noodle. yeah, those noodles were great and they gave me just enough energy to get to the next city, which is where we'll be making grilled cheese sandwiches. It now feels like a good opportunity to introduce you to somebody who made all of this possible. And let me be clear, this is not a sponsorship, nobody paid me to say this, but this is Shiva. When we booked our tour and got a random guide, we did not know what to expect. But we got so lucky with Shiva because he's an absolute legend who enhanced this entire experience. We all became good friends and we still keep in touch with Shiva to this day. He's a licensed tour guide in the entirety of Nepal, so if you're booking a Nepal trip, make sure you send Shiva a message on WhatsApp, and I promise he'll make sure that your Nepal trip is unforgettable. And again, this is not sponsored, I paid for everything on this trip myself, I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about Shiva because he's an awesome guide. Now I hope you're getting excited because it's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to make a grilled cheese sandwich in the Himalayas. And I'm sorry, please bear with me, the next minute is shot vertical because I shot this for shorts, but I promise this is more than you saw in the short, this is a little bit extra behind the scenes. Is this cow's cheese or cow's cheese? Can I taste a little bit of the yak cheese? Oh, it's very hard. It's almost like wood shavings. You wanna try?
Camera girl.
What do you use the yak cheese for?
For pizza?
For pizza?
Spaghetti.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to mozzarella.
Do you have to use other cheeses or this will melt?
Yeah.
So you use a mixture of a few? No, just the one cheese? Oh, okay. I want to cut up a little bit of this spinach and I'm going to put some of that on there. So this is not at all how you would normally use gundruk. Typically you would boil or steam it with some other vegetables and, actually cook it, but I just chopped it up into small pieces and I'm hoping that'll work on the sandwich. The cow's cheese. We'll add a little bit of the spinach. Gundruk? I might be the first person ever. Do you have like some salt? Oh, spices behind. Okay. The spices? Okay. I'll put a little bit of salt. What is this, chili? I'll put a little bit of chili too. Put a little too much. Then we also need a little bit of yak cheese. Here, so this is yak's cheese. Is it aged? Like, do you age it for a long time?
Yes.
Do you know how old?
6 months.
6 months, 1 year? Wow. So put a little bit. Just like that. Okay.
Is this butter from cow or yak?
Cow.
Cow butter. Can you make yak butter?
Also make yak butter, but it's very bitter.
Not good, okay. Is this how you would make a grilled cheese or no? Different? Do you use butter at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use butter. Okay. Mayonnaise? Yeah. Yeah, I like
Big
mayonnaise.
believer in mayonnaise. Yeah.
I didn't know you had mayonnaise. You have mayonnaise? Okay, I'll put a little bit of that too, maybe.
Yep, on the inside.
Yeah. Alright. Look, we even got mayonnaise. Okay. Ooh. A little crispy. Mountaintop grilled cheese. Gordon Ramsay, what you got? Let's try. Still good.
So we give gundruk cheese sandwich, right?
Yeah, gundruk cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Just remember, this is we made here in Gorepani. So we giving the Nepali name gundruk cheese sandwich. Okay. Wow. Seriously good.
You gonna start putting gundruk on grilled cheese?
I think after I post this, somebody's gonna come here and they're gonna ask for gundruk on their grilled cheese. And you make them this.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, gundruk cheese.
Gundruk cheese sandwich. Really nice.
Thank you. I think it's safe to say that this sandwich turned out great, and a mountaintop grilled cheese is no problem for Chef Tyler. But we might have another problem coming, because I did promise you that I would be trying the Mad Honey I bought earlier. As we were hiking, I was talking to locals about Mad Honey, and they all recommended that if we were going to try it, that we should try it in some hot water. But even most of the locals we talked to say that they don't even want to try this stuff because they've heard horror stories about hallucinations and stomach problems. All right. Wild honey in Nepal. Mad honey.
Thank you. Yeah, what we can do, just get the, we can do tomorrow.
It smells more, there's more than honey going on. Oh, it looks like sugary, like,
Yeah.
it's like
applesauce.
Okay, this was way too much.
Let's go.
Oh, it's good.
Just a little sweet.
How's the taste?
It mostly tastes like water, honestly, just a little sweet. I might regret this, but I'm gonna try a little on its own.
Yeah, that's good.
I wanna taste just a little of it.
Alright, you talked me into it.
Guys.
It tastes like flowers or something. Rhododendron.
Yes, yeah, more flour than honey.
Yeah.
That is really good, actually.
Well, that's what they were saying, is that people will put it on like toast, like a very small amount, but
No, it's good.
I can eat it. Or
Yeah,
grilled cheese.
I think we know what we are for breakfast tomorrow.
Well, we'll see. Okay. Well, now it's just a waiting game, I think. We'll finish this and
Yeah.
see what happens. All right, it is 8:32, so 27 minutes since we had the honey, and I'm not really feeling anything. Okay, to be fair, I probably didn't have enough to do anything anyways, but I'm not taking any risks when I'm in the Himalayas. But that's all for today, so if you made it this far, remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one.